Welcome to another special edition of the Church Preview. We have Karl is with us as always in Fargo and a special guest. And I'm going to turn it over to you, Karl, to introduce Amy for everybody that's watching today.
Absolutely. Amy does a lot for the Fargo chapter or location of our church. She's on the board. She's our board / minutes taker. Would that be secretary, I guess? She's also, and I'll have her talk a little bit about this. She's also on the outreach team. She's one of the leaders on our outreach team. And what I am probably most grateful for is a couple things. Amy has a skill or a gift of seeing things that we all see, but seeing them just slightly different. So her points of view are always really, really welcome. And so we're going to put that to use. She is a member of our, we'll call it messengers, right? So I think over the 5-6 years that we've been together, there have been at least half a dozen, if not more, messages that you've given. And they're always very well thought out, very insightful. Not to put any pressure on Amy, but I would like you to meet Amy Watts from Fargo, and I think you're going to ask her some questions about what's going on this week, and then I would like to ask her a couple things about what's going on this week, and
Well, this is a great opportunity for us to, and we still struggle over this, Fargo and Bismarck location / campus / east and west, and we'll get it figured out by September. There's another pet. Today is we have pets all over the place. And what's your kitty's name for those at home?
This one is Fiona.
Aw, hi Fiona. That's got to be a good girl. Cats don't really respond to that like dogs, I guess, but
not quite, not yet.
So I know that as we come together with both churches, we can rely on each other. We can help expand out what we're doing at each location. And in this case, this week, it's exciting because you will, Amy, be part of the service that's happening in Bismarck as well. You have the message for us, and it's exciting because it's our 7th of the 7 wonderings of the world. So what is this final question that we're coming home to hear about?
This one is, will there ever be a cure for all diseases?
Ooh. And you're going to give us the answer. That's awesome.
I'll give you some information. You can decide if it's the answer that you want or not. But yes.
That's great. Well, perfect. That's a great way to look at it. And I know that we usually kind of pull from different areas of the Bible as we have messages. Are there any specific areas that you'd like folks to focus on a little bit?
Yeah, in going through things, I found a lot of helpful information in the story of Habakkuk, which is an Old Testament book. That's Shadow, by the way, if you didn't get to meet him. So
Shadow and Fiona are they're going after it.
They will. And then, so Habakkuk is an Old Testament book that a lot of people probably haven't heard of, but if you have a study Bible, that would be the best way to read through that and read through the study notes, because I think that's been just a lot of good information in relation to this question. And then another passage that would be beneficial would be 2 Corinthians 12, 7 through 10. So
I'm very distracted by your animals playing. It's so great. I love it. And for those that do want to follow, I just learned that there's a book in the Bible called Habakkuk. Okay. And it's Habakkuk. It's in the Old Testament, smashed in there someplace before the New Testament. We'll just go there. Look it up. And 2 Corinthians 12, 7 through 10. Those are great ways to get prepared. And so will there be cures of all the diseases? Now, I'm assuming that we're talking about the question, if we Google it, probably comes down to physical diseases. I also think the diseases of the mind and of the soul and all these things that we'll get to expand on and talk about. So excited to hear how that goes. Anything else that's happening in Fargo? Oh, you know what? Can I come back to something? You guys just had a game night. How'd it go? How did that turn out?
Oh, game night. You want to take that, Amy, or you want me to?
Go for it.
Okay. Our game nights, we use our game nights as an outreach. And I talked a little bit about this last week, where it's kind of easier to invite somebody to a church function in a kind of non-church setting. So that, because there are those people that just kind of, church is not for them. They know it isn't, but then all of a sudden they start getting to know people around some trash talking and some finger foods last week. And you find out that we're actually just normal people that love Jesus. Last week was fantastic, and I do want to throw a challenge out to all the Bismarckians who have smokers. Al, who you all be meeting, made, and I wonder, I don't think he'd mind if I say this because he put it on Facebook. He invented, developed a dill pickle wrapped in bacon.
All right.
Smoked, and then barbecue sauce, and it was phenomenal. And all the foods were fantastic. Actually, Arlene brought cookies that looked like fingers. They even had little with fingernails, and they were.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was really, really cool. So and then we played games. We did In Sync, which I talked a little bit about, and we did Pictionary, and oh my gosh, I'm a lousy drawer, but we had some good guesses. So it was a load of fun. And I'm going to encourage our Fargo or our Bismarck location to start doing some things like that as well. And I know the potluck thing is great, but this is, usually after church hours, sometimes even on a different day. And it's just a fantastic way, A, to get together as a church, and then B, to have kind of a non-evasive way of inviting people to a church function. Right. And so they can figure out that we're really as cool as we think we are.
And a couple things from that. So there's someone in the Bismarck location, in the Bismarck church, excuse me, that has a talent for bringing people together. I don't know who that is, but I bet there is someone that would be really good at bringing people together like that, organizing events. And my point with that is, if you're watching this, or if you are watching and think of someone, or maybe it's you yourself, just talk to the leadership team, or just put an event together. We'll show up. I promise. There's someone that'll be happy to do it. The other thing from that, then, of course, food, so important to our Bismarck location, and we have Fiesta theme in Bismarck for our potluck this Sunday. Sorry you guys will miss it, because I know you're going to be on the screen, right? So you can we'll put the camera over there so you can see what you're missing. But
Amy will actually be on the screen. Yeah.
Oh, all right. And will you be with us at all this time?
I will not. My daughter's graduating this weekend, so I'll actually be down in the cities. But I will be, and the service is at 10 o'clock. So I will be watching at a later date.
Well, safe travels and happy graduation. That sounds like a fun trip.
Yeah, and it should be fun.
Yeah, and Amy, very happy to see you with us on Sunday. I'm not going to call you Big Head Amy like we do Big Head Karl. I think we'll just save that for you. You can be regular Amy joining us.
Regular size head Amy.
Yeah. And so what else? So Bismarck, we have the potluck coming up the last Wednesday in May. I think it's worth mentioning this too. Rather than now, we won't have a service that Sunday that follows that, right? Because the service will actually be the Wednesday evening at 6 o'clock. I'm trying to think of what the date is. Let me pull up a calendar. The 29th.
Okay.
The 29th, we'll have a service in Bismarck, 6 p.m. And then the 2nd of June, no service, because most of us will be either in Oaks celebrating the wedding of Marissa and Zach, or recovering from the celebration. So one way or the other, that's what's going to be happening there. Otherwise, Amy, great to have you with us. I know that you do a lot for the Fargo Church, and we're looking forward to connecting our two churches together. Is there anything else that happens with the Fargo Church? Maybe you could let some of the Bismarck folks know that happens. Maybe we can start looking towards expanding some of what we do here in Bismarck as well.
The one thing that comes to mind is just we are being very intentional with trying to have outreach opportunities into the community. And there is a big one actually coming up at the end of May. It's called City Serve. And it actually takes place not only in Fargo, but also in Bismarck. I think if you just Google City Serve, it's started by a church in Minot, and it's into like 5 different cities of the state. And it's just multiple opportunities throughout that week after Memorial Day to give people the opportunity to just step up together and serve the community. And so I heard of it last year after the fact, and so I was really excited that we got to actually take part in it this year. We will get to, and so hopefully some of you guys from out there can take part in it too. It's just all the different opportunities are on the website, so just pull that up and see what's out there and what works for your schedule.
Great.
And get it considered.
I'll put a link up on the little blurb that we have that goes with this video, so folks can look it up that way. Appreciate both of your times. Any final words? Any other thoughts before we wrap up, Karl or Amy?
No, I'm really excited. Well, I say no and then I start talking. I'm actually really excited to see how a different face plays on the big screen for you guys. So that and I love the fact that like Amy and there's some other people in Fargo here that when we do series, they'll each grab a topic, and it's just really cool. We're developing as a message team, and it's now that we have this technology, it's going to be easy to start integrating these two churches, because I know just in talking with people in Bismarck, there are people that have the skills, the capabilities, the desire to want to share what God is sharing with them, and this is a perfect format because we're a family church, so we're just sharing with our family what we're learning. It's very exciting. It's invigorating. I love it. It's maturing.
Fantastic. Yeah. And along those lines, anybody that's part of the Fargo Church, always welcome to come join us in Bismarck or join the service online. And then I know that the Fargo Church, you also broadcast online. I watched the beginning of last Saturday's service, enough to know that you actually do different music in Fargo than you do in Bismarck. And as a guy that plays in both bands, I accused Karl of being a glutton for punishment, because that's a lot of extra work. But it was fantastic music and a good message for sure. So really appreciate everything everybody does for both locations. And as we come together, just nothing but excitement as we continue to grow.
Yeah, right on, brother.
All right. Thanks for joining us, Amy. Thanks for your time, Karl. And we'll see everybody again soon. Take care.